Hello, new listener. This is Eli from the Jazz and Eli podcast. When I was looking over the audio for the podcast, I discovered that my mom's mic wasn't working like it should have, and the best audio you get is from me, but you could still hear her, but the audio's a bit messed up. So please be patient with us, and I hope you enjoy. Alright. Welcome to the Jazz and Eli podcast. We're thinking of something to talk about.
Well, that's Eli. I'm Jazz.
I'm dying.
She's dying.
I have a cold and it's awful.
At least it's not the flu.
Yeah, that's true. Could be worse. Everybody at work is getting sick at work and they're bitching and moaning about it, and you're like, oh, I'm going to call in. And I'm just like, I'm still here. Why do you get to call in?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
That's why we need PTO for employees.
Definitely need PTO for employees.
For fast food workers. Well, it got stupid cold this morning, didn't it?
It sure did. I left the house thinking that I didn't need a jacket.
So did your dad?
Yeah. And it was warm, it was fine. And then around 8 o'clock this morning, one of my employees opened up the drive-thru window, and I saw her mouth steam going off, and I was like, oh my god, it's fucking cold outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I was considering turning on the air conditioning this morning.
Yeah.
Like, actually unburying my air conditioner and plugging it in, and then, 30 minutes later, I get an arctic blast of wind through my window. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not turning on the air conditioner.
Right? Like, I had the AC rolling all night last night.
Yeah, I just had the window open. It was nice.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
It got ugly.
It did. It got ugly quick.
We got a nice little thunderstorm, and then it left, and it got cold.
And it got cold. Yeah. It was warm, and then it was cold, and it was raining all day today.
Mm-hmm. Yay for Oklahoma.
Ooh, Oklahoma weather.
Yes.
And I just turned to my assistant manager. I was like, please just let me go home at 2. I stay late every other day. I just want to go home at 2.
And you still didn't get home at 2. What time did you get off?
I got off at 2:04.
Yeah.
Technically, I
still. Did I tell you about my boss getting on to me for working too much?
Your boss? I wish.
No, dude.
I wish.
So he has this policy, basically, of don't work more than 14 days in a row.
Okay.
I don't even know how many I worked in a row, honestly. Well, let's see. I took Saturday off.
Just so you don't get burnt out?
Yes,
okay.
Because, that's really easy to do this time of year, as busy as we are.
Yeah.
And, so I know I took a Saturday off, and then I worked. Basically, I didn't take a single day off in the last pay period, for sure.
Whoa.
Because I was trying to get...
Because I look good on your check.
I knew that my bonus was going to land this Friday.
Oh, cool.
So I was trying to stack as much overtime on top of my year-end bonus together so that I could definitely have enough money for the car and get our front end fixed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he had me call him yesterday, and IM'd me saying, if you sound tired, I'm sending you home.
Whoa.
When I called him, he's like, it's a good thing you don't sound tired.
Damn it. Leonard, you are calling at the worst possible time. It's your anniversary. How about you enjoy it? I'm sorry. I love you, but I can't do that right now.
Leonard,
I'm really glad that it didn't just end our recording, because that would have... Oh, God, I don't want to... I mean...
You'd have to splice some stuff together.
I would have had to splice some stuff together, and I don't feel good, and I really don't want to edit. I just want this to be one long...
thing that we can...
45 minutes. I don't want to push it to an hour this time, since we didn't get any listeners. I would just like a 45-minute thing.
Okay.
See if we catch some listeners this time. Leonard, no! Hold on, I'm just... can't text me. I'm doing a podcast, bro. You won't understand it because it's not getting anything going right now. But
hey, everybody starts somewhere. I guarantee
every
you,
YouTuber...
Kyle Kalinske and TYT, their very first video, nobody watched it.
Philip DeFranco.
Nobody
Charles
watched
Trippy.
it until they
Jenna
started
Marbles.
going back to watch stuff. So
James Charles.
there's
every
one
YouTuber,
small YouTuber that I watch. He's one of the
YouTuber
eBayers.
starts with 0.
Yeah,
I have 10 on my personal channel.
We all have to start somewhere. So
yeah. I mean, I could post these to my personal channel instead of just being Jazz and Eli podcast, but
I'd rather it be our own.
I'd rather it be our own separate thing too.
Yeah,
because
it's not yours. It's ours. He texted me.
Yeah, he texted me. Pausing conversation due to what do you want? Why do you always talk to me?
Is he your friend? Oh, let's see. What else is going on in the world?
I don't know.
That's not depressing. We're going to get to those topics.
Oh yeah, we're going to be getting to those topics. It's just going to be...
A couple of them anyway. We're not going too far into it. Let's see.
Oh, Leonard. Oh no. What did you do? He's talking to...
Anyway.
Yeah. And,
I shouldn't have said her name out loud like that, but whatever.
I'll probably just edit that out. My old assistant messaged Leonard on Facebook. Something about a job, I'm assuming. She goes, yeah, it's pretty balling. He goes, ooh, ah. So I'm guessing there were only 3 orders the whole day. She still works at Taco Bell. And she's like, ha, ha, ha. No, there was a lot of orders. There was one point, I swear, that was the fastest I've ever made food. Leonard goes, so 10 orders the whole day? She goes, no, you're not going to take this away from me. And then he goes, Trayvon won't stand for this.
That's terrible.
I'm like, oh, Leonard, that's a terrible fucking joke.
Language.
I go, bitch wants to brag.
Let's see.
Yeah, if I answered the phone, he'd be talking to me for an hour.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do our podcast.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess we want to go ahead and jump in since we only got 45 minutes.
Yeah, might as well. Since we started it off like, hopefully grabbed some ears, we're about to move into politics. Just a disclaimer. Please take what we have with a grain of salt. Do not use us as your main source of information. I would recommend the Young Turks or Philip DeFranco.
Secular
Talk. The David Pakman Show.
He's a little dry, but he's chock full of really good information.
They all have really good information about these topics.
Do the research.
They know what they're talking about, but we're just going to give our opinions on recent events, such as the Parkland shooting in Florida. I wrote a little something, and I'm going to start it. I'm going to read it, and it's going to be a little scripted. So bear with me if it's dry. So I'm going to go ahead and start. All right. Also, if you have any comments about your opinion, go ahead and just share in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts, regardless of your opinion on the matter. Okay, so
just don't be mean.
Just keep an open mind. Keep it civil. Be nice to each other. If there's more than one person viewing this podcast, we'll see. Okay, so shooter Nicholas Cruz, and I wrote this in my own words, went to his former school where he shot and killed 17 students and injured 14 others so far. This was written, I want to say...
What's the day after, wasn't it?
I want to say it was a couple days after. I think it was the weekend. I wrote it on Saturday. So I'm pretty sure this is still a standing number. Cruz had been expelled due to behavioral issues and was seen as a threat to students and school. And the school students believed that if there was going to be a school shooting, that he would be the one to perform it. I got blind in my eye. He wasn't even allowed to bring a backpack on campus. This is just me rephrasing what I'd written. Someone even called the FBI tip line and told them about Cruz's recent purchase of firearms and threats he had made to a family member. The caller gave the FBI Cruz's information and expressed their concern about disturbing messages on social media. According to the FBI protocol, the information provided by the caller should have been assessed as a potential threat to life and should have been sent to the Miami field office where appropriate action should have been taken. And I got that from TYT, and TYT got that from the LA Times. I'll put all my sources down in the description for anyone that or any topic that you want to see on this particular matter. My personal feelings with how the FBI handled that tip dismissively upsets me. Because they could have done better.
You're told to, if you see something, say something, but then they ignore you.
So
what's the point of saying something if the authorities are just going to ignore the teenager or whoever calls it in?
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be our jobs to put in information, and they only see, like, I don't know, they only want to hear it if it. I feel like if it's a Muslim doing it, or if it's someone of color. If it's a white person, they just kind of brush it off.
Or an actual Hispanic, despite his name, he is not Hispanic. He was adopted by a Hispanic person.
Which is weird because he's a part of a white supremacy group.
Right.
Also TYT.
Had he actually been of Hispanic origins, or had he actually been Muslim, or had he actually been black, I think that it would have been handled more
appropriately.
Effectively. They would have
it could have been prevented.
Muslim, they would have followed up on it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's possible that because he wasn't that they did, but I can't say that for sure. I mean, maybe it was just somebody dropped the ball. It happens.
Yeah, it got lost because apparently there are like 2,000 calls a day.
Of
people being concerned about, a person who is threatening of some kind.
But you still, even if you don't think it's valid, you should still send it to the appropriate office to be followed up on, just to be sure.
Because you never know.
Maybe this kid wasn't a threat, but clearly he was. And if somebody had followed up, maybe they would have caught him.
Yeah. Stopped him before he did this.
A lot of things didn't happen that should have along the way. But I think that the people at the school handled situations appropriately.
They did their job.
The school expelled him when he was being a problem. Mm-hmm. But, I mean...
Wouldn't even let him bring a backpack on campus. They knew he was so dangerous.
They knew he was a threat.
They knew.
And clearly he was.
Obviously. Very clearly.
But... this is part of a bigger... I mean, yes, this incident really sucks, and there was a lot of people that fell down on the job, but this is such a bigger problem than just that. Yeah. This is just a huge symptom of the same problem that's been going on in
There's a disease.
All of these. And I'm not going to say necessarily it's our gun culture, although I'm sure that plays into it a lot. I think a lot of it is they let that assault weapons ban expire.
And just never did anything about it.
Yeah, and it...
And they keep taking money from the NRA, which affects how they vote and how they govern.
It does.
And they're playing politics with their lives, and it's getting sad.
60% of the population wants sensible gun controls put into place. The Supreme Court has said that we have the right to regulate. We also don't have the right to take the guns away, but we absolutely
Nobody's asking for the guns to be taken away. We're asking for a reform.
Right. I want some sensible regulations to be put in place and then actually enforced.
Yeah.
One of the biggest arguments I hear, and this one drives me crazy, and I have it in my notes over here, is that if, because criminals are going to break laws, why bother? Like, well,
terrorists are going to attack, so why bother?
People are going to speed, so why bother? People are going to commit murder, so why bother?
Yeah.
I mean, we have laws for a reason, and while, no, it won't stop everybody, and people who really want to go on a mass murder spree are going to find a way. That is true. That doesn't mean we can't try.
But there are ways to prevent it.
And we can prevent a lot of them because there are people who, if it were illegal, would not be doing it. Yeah. Because it's illegal, but because they currently have access, they can.
And yes, the FBI has also stopped many mass shootings, but at the same time, a lot of them are slipping through their fingers.
All I know is that when I see a teacher posting on Facebook,
and we know a lot of them,
she has become resigned to the fact that she is going to die protecting children from bullets. And children are resigned to the fact that they are going to die in a school shooting. We've got a fucking problem with this world. Mm-hmm. There is something seriously wrong, and it's not a lack of prayer, and it's not a lack of discipline in the home. These are all bullshit excuses.
I'm sorry, but if God was going to stop this, he would have stopped it at Columbine.
Right? Prayer, God, that's not...
And it's not a lack of faith in this country either that's causing it.
There's a bigger problem at play, and I think by using those as excuses, we're not approaching it. We are not coming from a place where we can actually solve it. We're just blaming. Oh, it's the video games. Oh, it's the lack of prayer in schools.
It's the lack of mental health.
It's this. Oh, it's the lack of mental health, and yet we're going to defund the crap out of that. I mean, how are you going to blame something on mental health issues, and we need to be stronger on mental health, but yet you're going to defund it, you're going to refuse people treatment, you're going to take away the programs that get people treatment who can't afford it otherwise, because we all know healthcare is expensive, and if you don't have a job or you can't get insurance for whatever reason, how are you supposed to get the mental health care you need if everything else has been defunded? I'm just so frustrated by this whole situation, and
so are the kids.
Yeah, and the children that are facing this day to day are fed up.
They're tired of it. They're sick of going to school terrified that this is going to be the day. I remember being in that situation.
I shouldn't be terrified that my child's going to die in a hail of gunfire.
I have a 4-year-old. I shouldn't have to be worried about that.
That terrifies.
Elementary schools have also been targeted. I mean, it's not just like a kid in high school.
Babies have died.
Babies have died. Like, yeah, teenagers go into school because their bullies are assholes, and they go in and, shoot up the place, and that's really loose and horrible wording, but at the same time, people are also hurting children, small kids, and then refuse to acknowledge that that's actual fact. Like with the Sandy Hook, people believe that never happened.
Right.
I've actually had a conversation with someone who doesn't believe that it happened.
The people who were denying that Sandy Hook actually happened just didn't want to believe that was something that had actually happened. That
children actually died at the hands.
Little babies, 5-year-old children, died at the hands of a freaking madman.
Yeah.
They didn't want to believe it, so it was easier for them
to deny it
and say it just didn't happen. It was a false flag. It was just a ploy to come take our guns, which clearly never happened.
The guns have never been taken away.
No.
In fact, restrictions have been loosened.
Yeah.
Since then. Since
babies died.
Yeah.
And,
since
in
Vegas.
all honesty,
even since Vegas.
Yeah, when they were talking about the bump stock thing and then just never quite did it.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that. What's
bump stocks basically turned the single fire, where you have to pull the trigger each and every time and turn it into an automatic weapon where all you just have to do is hold down the...
Yeah. That way you can hold it and just spray.
Right, and...
oh, God.
Yeah, they have not banned that. Well, we're hitting the 20-minute mark, so should probably switch gears a little bit, since we are trying to cut this short a little bit tonight.
Alright, so since we've talked about our opinions on that, I'm just going to go ahead and
hop on over.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with what I had originally planned, which was to read a whole thing, literally like 5 paragraphs. An essay, basically. I wrote an essay about it.
Maybe it's something we can do later. Maybe do a part 2.
Maybe if people are listening and they do want to hear it, then just let me know. Let us know in the description if you really want to hear the script. Comments. I doubt it. Or in the comments, but yeah.
If you do actually want to hear her opinion on it, we can do that.
Yeah, just let me know. And now we're gonna switch gears onto our next topic, which is about the
proposed food stamp boxes.
Yeah.
Instead of giving SNAP, I do not remember the name of the politician. Did you write it down by chance? Somebody proposed that instead of handing out just basically debit cards to food stamp recipients and allowing them to go to the local grocery store and spend money in their local economy, buying fresh foods, they want to send boxes of shelf-stable milk, aka powdered milk, and I don't know who out there may have or may not have tasted that stuff, but it's disgusting. It is not meant for actual human people to drink. It is gross. It is not. I mean, it's disgusting. And then canned meats. So I'm not sure what we're talking here, potted meats or just canned chicken and ham.
Yeah.
But canned meats, or are we talking the canned whole chickens, which, again, by the way, are freaking nasty. Just think a whole chicken
in a can,
shoved into a can with jelly around it. It's gross. I thought we were, oh my god, there's chicken in can. Isn't this the best? It was not. I was wrong.
When was this?
Apparently I had never been that poor. No, it was actually probably before I even met your dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think I was living with Ryan and John and all them.
Okay.
Anyway, I was so excited because it was cheap. It was cheap.
Ew.
It was gross.
Yeah.
It was so gross.
If you can imagine what that tastes like.
And canned vegetables and fruit.
Canned veggies are freaking gross.
And fruit.
Like if you've ever had canned spinach, which I have not, apparently it sounds fucking gross.
It's nasty. But anyway, yes. So, with zero regard for dietary restrictions. Oh yeah, peanut butter. Peanut butter. They also peanut butter. I want to say there's a couple other things. I don't remember what all.
And what kind of diseases cause dietary restrictions that literally you cannot control?
Diabetes, can't have lots of sugar. Heart disease, can't have lots of salt.
And these box meals
kidney disorders, like our friend Christine, she has kidney disorders, and because of that, she cannot process lots of salt. So therefore cannot have a high sodium diet, which, by the way, canned meats, canned vegetables are really high in sodium. She can't eat that stuff.
And then boxed meals.
Are high in sugar. There's no guarantee that any of this stuff will actually make a real meal when it's all put together.
Yeah, it could just be a box full of random stuff.
And they likened it to Blue Apron. Mm-hmm. But Blue Apron is all fresh foods. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. They come in packaged boxes with 10-foot, and we're not sponsored by Blue Apron.
not by a long shot.
Not even close. We don't even have listeners yet. So, I mean, if we do end up catching an ear, we are not sponsored.
Wind is howling out
there. It is.
Oh my goodness, it sounds like somebody is screaming outside your door.
I know. It sounds creepy if you really think about it.
It really does. It sounds like somebody is screaming out there. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
like
back to topic. So, not only is this have zero regard for allergies, dietary restrictions, dietary necessities, people who can't eat gluten or whatever.
And not that dumb, I have a gluten allergy. There are people with celiac disease.
Yeah, or
go to Jen and
disease.
Go to Jenna and Julian's podcast, and he will tell you all about celiac.
Yeah, it is not fun, and it is a real thing, and these people actually have real dietary restrictions. There's also food allergies.
It makes them physically sick when they have wheat.
Then of course there's the actual cost side of this. Let's put the food part aside. We have the actual costs. Right now, you've got the staff that it takes to approve the people for the card.
Which is a limited amount of people.
Right. You're talking an office-sized group of people, 15.
Your local DHS office.
Right. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of people here, granted across the country maybe, but locally.
Local government-wise.
Right. Basically, right now, you can actually even apply online, which means even less personnel.
Yeah.
So, you've got the personnel that apply, that deals with the application process. Then you've got the people that actually manage the card. And then that's it.
And then you got your cashiers and everything at the grocery stores where they buy from.
Economy. So when you get your food stamps, you take it to your local grocery store, and you buy your food there. Fresh food right there. Now, granted, you can't buy anything ready to eat.
Nope.
You can't buy anything that's already been heated up.
Nope.
So
it has to be
anything
cold.
out of the deli is not happening. It has to be cold and sealed. Mm-hmm. So, are there people who abuse it? Certainly, yes. I'm sure that there are, but here's the thing. When you run out of food stamps, they're really only supposed to be 30% of your actual budget for food. They're not supposed to feed everything. Some of your income is supposed to go to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you frickin' spend your money on, because when push comes to shove, if you spend all your money on lobsters and scallops and steaks, and you waste all your money on a few items, once those items are consumed, you are then responsible for buying the rest. So, really, I don't see how it's anybody's business what you buy with it.
Nope.
Anyway, but that's beside the point. What I was going for was the expenses of this. So, when you have the system we currently have, you just hand the money to the person, they go buy the food. There's no shipping. There's no warehousing. There's no people organizing who gets what box or what goes in each box. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's nothing to address the logistics of this. What if I don't have an address that's findable? What if inclement weather prevents my box from coming through? What if something happens to the truck and my box is destroyed?
Yeah. Or it gets lost.
Is this going to account for the fact that I have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 17-year-old? Is this going to give them each the dietary needs that they have? What if I have a picky eater and they don't like the stuff that comes in the box? I mean,
And you can't just tell a small kid, oh, sorry, if you don't eat it, you're going to starve, and then therefore they eat it. No. If you've had a picky eater, you have no clue what you are talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I had a kid who literally just would not eat most of anything that you put in front of her.
Put a pizza in front of her, and she'd be like, that spice looks like a bug, I'm not eating it. Yeah. And that was the end of the conversation. And she just was not going to eat that.
Right. So, when you compare what it would take to pick out the food that goes in these boxes, to distribute these, you're talking an overwhelming amount of personnel. And honestly, here's the thing. We've tried this before.
It has happened.
It's called commodities. Now, some of y'all may be a little bit young to know what commodities are.
We can bring my grandma into
this. I am one of those people. I do not remember commodities. Commodities were a thing of the past by the time I came along in the 70s. But my mother remembers what commodities were. You went to a giant warehouse and you got your government ration of cheese or whatever and powdered milk. And it was gross food. It was gross then. It'll be gross now. It won't be any freaking better. As a matter of fact, I have a feeling it would be even worse than what they got back then.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't see how
we've tried this. It was logistically a freaking nightmare. That's why they moved to food stamps.
It was cheaper and easier to deal with.
Right. Took less personnel. There was no warehousing involved, no shipping involved, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if we do have people lining up in the warehouse, it could be freaking cold outside, so they're standing outside, waiting on their box.
That's not even the...
I mean, just all the possibilities that could happen, it's a freaking nightmare altogether.
Yeah. Logistically,
and with the American way of life currently,
zero cost studies on what it would cost to make this type of program.
Of course, they're just speaking out of their ass.
Right, they're like, well, we don't like them going to the store and getting birthday cakes, for their kids once in a while, so, let's just give them food, and then they can sit in their dark houses without refrigerators or microwaves. Because I've actually seen people from Fox News complaining about poor people having refrigerators.
How dare you live an American life?
Well, and most apartments come with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a standard.
You move into a rental place, there is a refrigerator and a stove. They come with the place. If they didn't come with the place, you would not be able to rent it.
No. You need a fridge.
It's required.
And then the health risks of just eating canned fruits and veggies is also...
Yeah. I mean,
there are studies on that, though.
Yeah,
on the
that's
effect,
not good for you.
on the effect those have on your body. That's I mean, that would feed into the American obesity.
They're worried about poor people being fat as it is. Come on. That's because we eat nothing but freaking ramen and pasta.
That's all we can afford.
Exactly, because, that stuff's cheap.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I remember being raised on as a kid.
Because that's what we could afford.
Hot dogs and then sandwich.
Much in the way of cooking because we were busy with school and work and everything. So, it was usually hamburger helper. And a lot of times that was it because we were living on food stamps.
Honestly, my sisters are lucky they didn't end up as fat as I am.
I think they were just neurotic about being
as fat as
me. As fat as you.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of it. I know Catherine probably was.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure she got picked on a lot about my weight. Off topic. But yeah. I mean, that's just how we feel about this matter. These matters altogether.
I mean, honestly, the same people who bitch and moan about people on food stamps also bitch and moan about raising the minimum wage. And
you know, if raising the minimum wage would fix a lot of this.
And yes, there would be a little bit of inflation, but, if you...
There's already inflation now.
Right, that doesn't stop inflation. The price of a Big Mac has gone up, regardless of the fact that the
minimum wage has been the same for the last 20 years.
No. The last time it went up was in 2009.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I'd think that $7.25 would come from the 90s.
Oh, no, it was in the $4s. It was in the $4 range in the 90s.
I have shock on my face. You can't see it, but I am shocked.
Yeah, I made $4.10 an hour in the early 90s. There was a point in time when $8 an hour was a great wage.
Yeah, now it is because it's over $7.25.
No, I mean
it still sucks now, but I'd rather have $8 than $7.25.
When I was making $8 an hour in 2004, it was a good wage. It was decent because the minimum wage was only like $5 an hour.
Oh my god!
So $8 an hour, I was making $3 an hour over. And then when I got the job at Walgreens, I was making like $8.60 an hour. And then $9 an hour, and then $11 an hour. Yeah, somewhere in there I got cut off food stamps. I think I was making like $9 an hour at that point in time.
Yeah, I make $9.80 right now as a manager at Taco Bell, and I do not qualify for food stamps. And I can't even buy groceries. My mom and dad have to help me buy my groceries.
Yeah. Yeah, we all eat over here.
Yep. So, I mean...
The baby gets fed, and
that's really what matters, honestly. And,
And she gets fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, she does. I make fucking sure of it. I need her to be healthy.
But we're not living high on the hog, either. I mean, it's not steak and lobster over here, but we eat.
No, but we eat.
Better than we did when you guys were growing up, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
our diet has really improved. But
it could be better still, but...
Yeah, but we're also poor. We're limited.
Right. Well, we're trying to fix that.
Yeah. Did it stop?
No.
Okay, good.
It was just the battery.
The battery's dying. I still have a minute. When it starts going, like, dim, that's when we know we have some... we need to find a charger.
Well, we only have about 15 minutes left here.
Yeah. So, like...
Yeah, basically, my opinion on the whole matter is...
We need to socialize.
We can't do this box thing for the simple fact that it would be more expensive than the current system that we have. It would not solve anybody's hunger issues.
In fact, it'd probably make it worse.
And it would be less healthy for the people receiving the food.
Yeah.
Because the food that he, at least was initially described, is not good for you to eat on a regular basis. And it's gross. Nobody wants to eat that. That's why that stuff sits on the shelf at the grocery store, and it's in food banks, because nobody eats it.
Yeah, unless you're starving. Even then.
Even then, it's iffy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you add water to powder, and it's supposed to be called milk. It's basically like formula for adults.
Yeah, it really doesn't taste much better, in all honesty, than formula. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's gross. It's really, really gross. It's barely worth cooking with.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be great for a gravy base, or, when you just need a little, yeah, but...
Not like fucking drinking it.
So, a little, I guess I had here...
Yeah.
I had some notes.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Another point I wanted to make is, let's stop worrying about what's in other people's grocery carts. It's really none of your business what they have and how they're paying for it. In all honesty,
let's stop judging each other about this stuff.
Right, really. And in all honesty, though, if you're standing close enough to somebody to see what kind of card they're swiping, you're standing too close. You need to back up anyways.
Yeah.
And you're paying too much attention to what's going on in somebody else's world. For real.
And then judging them based off the 5-second glance.
Those EBT cards are not super obvious.
No.
So
they look like regular credit cards.
I really call BS on the people who say, I saw somebody using food stamps and they were buying this, and that. How did you know that that's what they were using?
Yeah. Did the cashier tell you?
Were they announcing, I am using my EBT card now. Here is my EBT card. Watch me swipe it.
And I'm also buying these super expensive items with it.
Right. Can't
you buy toiletries?
Let's start minding our own business. No, you cannot buy toiletries. You cannot buy alcohol. You cannot buy cigarettes. All you can buy is food.
Yeah.
And you can't even buy hot food. So let me tell you, if they're buying hot food and they're buying alcohol, they're paying for that with their own money.
Yeah.
So really, not your business. Again, even if it's not your business what they do with their money. Also, a little point, food stamps can be saved up. You don't know that they haven't been saving $10 out of the last 6 months to buy that special meal with the birthday cake and the steak for somebody's birthday or for an anniversary. You don't know, because you can carry those over from month to month. Or they just got 2 allotments at the same time, because when you apply, if you apply at just the right moment, you can get back pay. Mm-hmm. And sometimes this has happened to me. You get 2 allotments at once. Oh man, you feel rich too. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but doesn't that have to last you 2 months?
No, because you're getting it for last month and this month.
Oh.
And you'll get another one next month.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You just don't know.
I have gotten double allotments like that, and yeah, then you're buying extra special stuff.
Yeah. It's a special occasion. Treat yourself.
Right? Suddenly you have $1,500 sitting on this card to buy freaking food with.
It's still money. It still goes into the local economy.
And here's the thing.
It benefits us all.
For every dollar that is put into food stamps, we get like $1.75 back into the local economy.
So it's a surplus.
It's actually a benefit to the economy.
It's a surplus.
So, we've only got a few minutes left.
We could wind it down.
Yeah, we can wind this down. You feel free to disagree with me. I've actually been on food stamps. I've lived that life. It sucks. Nobody wants to be on food stamps. Nope. People do work to get off of them as quickly as possible because it is embarrassing. So it's another BS lie that people are...
Nobody likes to be useless
on welfare perpetually because it's fun or they're getting lots of money. No. That's not what's happening.
And you have to be working, if not completely disabled.
That's another thing. They always, all these bums sitting on their butts, not doing anything, getting all this money. No, there's work requirements for all of this stuff and has been since the 90s. You can thank Clinton for that one. He's the one that put the work requirements. A Democrat, by the way, put in the work requirements for...
Which is, that's fine.
For all welfare programs. Unless you're disabled,
it's honest.
Underage, or elderly, you have to work. At least when I was in college and I was not working at least 20 hours a week, I personally did not get the food stamps. You kids and your dad who worked 20, 30 hours a week, he got food stamps. I did not.
Yeah.
So, again, BS. Anyway,
so it's crap.
It's crap. But
we need to stop paying attention to other people's lives.
Yeah, we need to mind our own businesses a little bit.
We need to start caring for each other.
Let's be nice. Is it really the worst thing in the world that single mom with 3 kids whose husband died last year has food stamps? Is it really that big of a deal? Or can she feed her freaking kids?
Am I not allowed to feed my kids because I work at Taco Bell? Am I not working hard enough?
Right, 40 plus hours a week?
40 plus hours a week. I haven't called in the past 2 years. I'm sick currently, and I still go to work because I don't have anyone to catch me when I fall. I don't have food stamps to pay for my groceries. I don't have Section 8. I don't qualify for enough government assistance to even pay for my child, for any really. I mean, I could probably get Section 8 if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to sustain myself.
Because most people don't want to be on food stamps.
Most people don't want to have
welfare.
Nobody wants to live in welfare. They want to bring in their own money and do it themselves. That's all they want in life. Unless you are completely disabled and unable to work.
And even then, those people wish that they could.
Yeah. They wish they could go out and do the things that they want to do.
They want to be laying in bed in pain all day long.
They don't want to be lumps, doing nothing. They want to live like the rest of us, socialize with other people like the rest of us.
Actually make their plans and keep them.
Yeah, like,
I know a lot of
have
people
something
with
to live for.
illnesses that have had to go on disability because they literally couldn't do anything.
It's actually been proven that people who don't have a whole lot going on in their life just wither away. If they don't have any kind of social stimulation or stimulation any kind of way for their brain to be challenged in some form or another, like our elderly who live in nursing homes, they wither away.
Or in apartments by themselves. Even worse.
Don't even take care of themselves.
Yeah.
End up withering away.
Let's love each other. Let's take care of each other.
Isn't that the Christian model?
Right?
I'm pretty sure that's, like, in the Bible. Like, I'm pretty sure Jesus said that.
Jesus said something similar at any rate. Love one another. Be kind to one another. Take care of each other.
Because we're all in this together. We're in the same shithole. Why do we have to hate each other in the same,
Why blame each other for the problem?
Yeah. Like, why don't we just fix it instead of blaming each other for, oh, it's your fault that we're in this mess? How about we just fix it and move on?
I much prefer that.
Like,
let's treat each other kindly.
And with respect and decency. The American way has become so cold to everybody.
It really has.
And, they say we're a godless nation. I mean, I don't entirely disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lack of morals other than a lack of an entity of religious purposes.
Well, when religion gets so twisted that you're taught to hate other people.
Instead of just doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, which is not judging each other.
Yes. Judge not, lest ye be judged, right?
Yeah. Isn't that the Metallica lyric? It's somewhere in the Bible, right? They're quoting it, aren't they?
Yes.
You can see I'm not a very religious person. I've grown up as Unitarian my entire life and barely paid attention in RE. But my minister is an amazing man. That's a whole other podcast, probably.
Yeah. We could go on about how awesome he is.
Yeah, he's great. And I fucking would, one day, if this ever becomes a bigger thing, would love to bring him on here.
Dude, that would be a fun
And just sit here and talk to him about it. He's a great person. Yes. And he does my tattoos, so...
Yeah, minister and a tattoo artist, all at once.
Yeah, he's fantastic. If you listen to our last podcast, which is so far 0...
if you end up listening to our old podcast...
then you know who he is. And if you haven't, well, you might want to check it out. I don't know, it's not our best one, but we're also still working on this.
It was the first one.
It's only going to get better from here. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep practicing. And, I think it's getting pretty close to ending this.
Yeah, I think
We got about a minute. All right, guys. If you're out there,
well, thanks
please
for listening.
hit that like button. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it.
Like, share.
Maybe not share.
Okay, thumbs up.
Like,
subscribe.
And come back for the next one if you really do enjoy us. We'll leave some of our social media handles in the description down below. Just our one right now. Twitter at Eli Podcast, because I messed up. It's
left me out.
I left her out, but the name on it's Jazz and Eli Podcast, but it says
work.
at Eli Podcast. So if you could follow us there, that'd be great too. And I'm Eli.
I'm Jazz.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.